So what inspired you to venture into this business?
I got this inspiration from Narendra Modi.
Something which addresses the challenges of the industry. And in last 10 years, the data center has gone through a sea change in terms of technologies, the way it is being built up, in terms of megawatt requirements.
We come to a journey where we are talking about data center parks of gigawatt capacity or multi-gigawatt capacity. Even if this industry is growing at very fast pace, I found a lot of challenges and gaps in the industry.
So many companies, everybody coming with a lot of new technologies. And so how do you keep yourself abreast with the newer technology which is coming in the market?
This data center industry is a very closed loop circle. It is not kind of we have got thousands of companies running in the data center. We have got around 20-30 companies who are running the data center.
You're the only Indian company who are probably going to compete with most of the multinationals. So what is this Data Center Guru talk is all about?
Okay.
And
Great.
What's the thought behind it?
We found one of the major gap in the industry was skill gap. If we look at in India itself, in next 5 years, we need more than 1 lakh people. So my ambition is to build DC Guru Talk a kind of a global data center platform which can provide you knowledge about A to Z on nuts and bolts level.
Welcome to the Data Center Guru podcast. And we have Mr. N.K. Singh, founder and CEO of Data Center Guru. He has more than 30 years of experience in design, build, and operate data centers across geographies. And he has worked with most of the leading companies who have been into data center business, and they're into design and build and operate business. Yeah, Mr. N.K. So in this podcast, normally we'll talk about you, all about you, and your initiatives, your Data Center Guru, the startup. I understand it requires really a man of steel to think of it to starting something new and giving it a shape, and thereby with the objective to help people in the data center industry. So what inspired you to venture into this business?
Well, when we talk about data center industry, I feel myself very, very proud and happy that I am into an era where this industry is growing, and it is going to grow for another few decades to roll over the industry. And as I have spent so much of time in data center industry, I am very, very passionate about it. And after gaining so much of experience and knowledge about it, somewhere I thought, why can't we do something different? Because when you talk about a job, which I have been very comfortable for last 30 years, looking at the data center industry and thought, what new things we can be able to do? And typically, if you talk about the inspiration, I got this inspiration from Mr. Modi itself, Mr.
Wow.
Narendra Modi. What he says is, in what stage or what you are, there is always a contribution you can be able to do to the industry, to the society. And that's what I thought, why can't we leverage whatever I have? I have that knowledge, I have that wisdom, and I have that industry connect. How can we leverage that and do something better for the industry? And that's how Data Center Guru something came into my mind.
But that's very interesting to know that at this such a ripe age, where all the wisdom probably you have it now, all the experience you have it now, and you could have even thought of, not getting into that hustle of, a startup, which normally youngsters do it, or probably at some mid-age, do it. At this stage, taking that initiative, where is going to be a lot of running around, still starting from the zero, finding things, how you're going to put the pieces together, trying to find people who are going to work together with you. How have thought about it? How you made it till here?
So it is also very interesting. I am very fortunate enough to have a list of my liabilities, because fortunately my kids are settled. I have no much of financial liabilities. I have left with a lot of energy.
Wow.
So I thought this is the time where I have no liability, everything works fine. Well, not fine, that also I don't have much of risk to run it. And second is that thing what we are planning to drive in terms of leveraging and doing something for the industry, and the passion for the data center, that has actually driven into this venture. And actually it is always energizing me to go further and further on this
That's
track.
interesting. So I would also like to know, uh, apart from that you wanted to certainly contribute to the data center industry, but something must have made you uh, create that services, create that offerings, or create something which addresses the challenges of the industry. And in last 10 years, the data center has gone through a sea change in terms of technologies, the way it is being built up, in terms of megawatt requirements. So how this changes has happened, and where do you feel you're going to contribute to, your services are going to contribute to that?
So when I look at, because as I said, I have been in data center industry for last 30 years, and fortunately, I was the second person in data center industry in command when we started in late 90s. So I have seen the entire evolution of data center which has come up, where we used to set up a server room inside small rooms,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we come to a journey where we are talking about data center parks of gigawatt capacity or multi-gigawatt capacities. So going through this cycle, I found even if this industry is growing at very fast pace, I found a lot of challenges and gaps in the industry and which were unaddressed. And I don't blame it to the industry because the supply and demand gap is so high. So people are much more aligned towards just understanding the requirement and fulfilling those demands rather than in plugging those gaps. So in Data Center Guru, I did a big research on that, and then we study the entire data center ecosystem, not only operator. So operator is one part of the ecosystem. There is a supply chain which supports data center operator to run. So when I did the entire research on the data center and identified what are the key gaps in the data center industry, and that's what, after identification, how can we solve it? So we created a framework, and then we converted those framework into services, and then we are trying to address those challenges through those services across data center lifecycle.
Okay, so it means that you did a complete research of the gaps which is currently in the data center industry,
Absolutely.
from the technology point of view, from the service delivery point of view, from the quality point of view, and the whole operation point of view, and the complete ecosystem point of view, because there's so many complex, different set of equipments, right from the electrical, mechanical, plumbing, structural, civil, everything is there, and all has to fall in place for a data center to be ready.
Yes. So when I did a research, I found few key gaps which I wanted to just bring to your notice. So I bucketed the entire ecosystem into three parts. One is existing data center operators, so who has been just getting into designing, building, and operating data centers. What are the challenges? Second, we also went into the ecosystem, supply chain to data center operators, because this typical supply chain has not been only supporting data center now or tend to support data center industry now, but they have been already supporting to different sectors. The same kind of ingredients goes into the data center also. So how can they leverage the growth of the data center industry and increase their business pie from data center industry is challenge for supply chain. Third bucket is the new data center operators. As you know, this growth is very fast and sustainable. So obviously it is a tendency of different companies to try and venture into this business. So how can they be able to venture into, because this is a very highly capex and opex intensive business. So unless and until they have a detailed length and width knowledge on the entire thing, it becomes very, very difficult or clarity to venture into. And what present scenario which is there in the industry is what big fours provide as a part of business consulting is more about consulting on a strategic level, which is not enough for the new data center operators to be successful. So that's where we thought, why can't we use 360-degree element which is required for any companies to be successful. So it is about evaluating them, guiding them, and enabling them to be successful in that business. So based on that, we created the framework, and that's how we are supporting.
So you mean to say that data center industry is quite a niche industry, what I understand, and it's very complex, and right from the design stage till the executions, and there is no room for mistakes probably, because the cost of those mistakes could be very high, because a lot of investment is already gone in terms of building a building, creating the infrastructure, sourcing it, creating it, installing it, testing it, and so many things. So anybody else trying to jump into it and give advisory to it, it probably might not justify it totally, because they do not come from a complete data center industry, until they have dirtied their hands in the data center industry, and they've seen, and they work with those technical, manpowers or technical people or industry experts, and with the operators. So it's very difficult for anybody else to, advise on that. So probably you're the right person, to advise and guide the industry in terms of the challenges which they're facing. So good on that.
So we are talking about when I bucketed the entire thing, then what gaps I found in the data center operator was design build life cycle or the duration, which has been minimum 2 years for any data center.
Okay.
And when we talk about supply chain demand and supply gap, the customer looks at data center being ready now. So how can we reduce the time span of that? Second gap I found was majorly from the perspective of quality of the project delivery. Third was compliance to L1 to L5 commissioning. The fourth gap I found was more about maturity level of operation and management. So when we look at IT service management, when you look at data center facility management, there is a huge gap on the maturity level. So how do we scale up the maturity level of data center facility management to that level is something was very, very important. And I would say more than 90%, almost all data center facility management in our part of the world as is at basic or nascent stage. So how will we upgrade? So for that we have services we call data center operational sustainability services, where we build up the entire program and run through that.
So yeah. So the core services we're talking about, one is the design, one is the peer review, the commissioning. Commissioning is a major aspect of it.
Yes.
Then you're talking about the project quality management. Then you're talking about the operation part of it. So can we just tell one or two, some of your thoughts on all the services which you're offering?
Yes.
Because very important to tell the viewers.
Yeah.
So why it is important, starting from design services.
So I had no plan to venture into design services.
Okay.
Frankly speaking, because this is a design and engineering which required large set of people. I was more concentrated on the standard designs, which will really reduce the span of the design cycle of the data center. But what I found is there is a big scarcity of engineering consultant in data center industry. So when we met the operators, they said that there is big scarcity and we need consultants to be there in the industry who can do this entire job. So that's how we also venture into the design and engineering services, which we started. We have done for a couple of our customers. And that follows with peer reviews and all. Another part which was very, very important is we saw a lot of customers struggling through certification process of data center. Because they spend a lot of time, lot of money, and still struggle to get the certificate. As I have come from that background on a data center, as I worked with Uptime also for 5 years.
Yeah, Uptime is one of the...
So I know the challenges and issues. So that also I consider that as a gap, and we created the services in terms of how can we make the entire certification life smoother and easier for our customers.
Yeah, because you work with, I understand, with a company like IBM, like Schneider, where we're heading the data centers complete design and project, and Uptime, for more than 4 or 5 years. So probably all this cumulative in experience and hands-on. So you could be the best person to work on these gaps and probably advise people in terms of certifications too.
So that's what I have found, and I think we have been getting very good response from our industry, and going great.
And something on the project quality project management, because this is a very new offering which you're giving. Nobody in the industry is offering.
See, quality management and governance, why we put it, because when I talk to even hyperscalers, and they were talking about in our part of the world, we lack quality culture, one. And second is, from the quality perspective, we lack the basic thing called quality planning. And we leave it, the entire thing, to the individual experience and knowledge and wisdom. So he can go and do the quality checks. So to make the entire thing more rational and standard, so we created a quality management and governance framework, which starts with the quality planning, which is a very, very detailed and thorough exercise where you define the quality of each and every systems and subsystems for different stages of the project in a detailed manner, so that the people on the ground, they know what exactly they have to follow. They don't have to use their brain so much. We second, to enable the culture, quality culture, to come into the project team, we also enable the project team to how to use the quality plan, so that they start following the quality plan, they start executing their project based on the quality plan. And then is a third eye, is a third competent agents, we do a governance on the side to ensure that even if intentional gaps are not there, so that's why we are able to control the entire quality of project delivery and ensure you get a quality what you emphasized in the design stage itself.
And what are operation and maintenance? Because you have been handling few of the critical data centers while you were in Schneider. I understand you had device or
So
been part of
for
that experiences, that
operation and
SOPs
maintenance,
and all, yeah.
that's what we said. We are not getting into operation and maintenance program directly because it is a highly resource intensive game. However, the real value, what is required to bring the maturity level up in data center facility management, we have operational sustainability program services where we develop the entire program from the scratch to make the entire operation and management mature, which is more process and technology driven rather than the people driven program.
Wow. More process and technology driven rather than people. So a very, very powerful sentence and powerful message which you're really giving, and people understand this. So what I see, most of the, you're the only Indian company who are probably going to compete with most of the multinationals.
Absolutely.
And probably the kind of services which you have, additional services, they might not have it. They're just catering to the requirement of the industry. Whereas you're trying to reshape the way we look at the industry and the way the services are need to be structured around, to address the challenges. So that's very innovative and interesting vis-a-vis any other competition which is operating in the Indian market right now. I understand you plan to go to global also, slowly,
Yes.
So God bless you for that. So other aspect which you're talking about is that in terms of interactions with the industry, experts, and this is what the Guru Talk comes about, talking about it. So what is Data Center Guru Talk is all about, and what's the thought behind it?
So thought behind it is, when we did research, we found one of the major gap in the industry was skill gap.
Yeah.
And I have studied a lot on that. What I found, if you look at a global basis, there is a demand of skilled resources in data center industry. Around more than 1 million people are required, skilled people in data center industry. If we look at in India itself, in next 5 years, we need more than 1 lakh people.
More than 1 lakh people from this industry?
100,000 people we need to be inducted in the industry. So how do we get it? We are already seeing the operators facing the brunt of it, where it is becoming a challenge for them to even retain people. So we'll talk about how do we do skill development. There is a different initiatives. We'll talk later on. But the purpose of Guru Talk is another things which came into picture is the entire data center industry expert populations is aging up. So if you look at data center experts are all 45 plus. A lot of people has retired also.
You are 45 plus, but you're full of energy and full of ideas.
So it is not a matter of energy. There has to be correlation and induction of a young masses in the entire industry.
Yeah.
And second part is whatever knowledge, experience and wisdom what you carry, if you don't share that knowledge to the industry, how industry will get benefited? For the benefit of that industry, we are creating a platform called DC Guru Talk. This is nothing but a knowledge sharing and collaborative platform which connects data center knowledge or experts and the knowledge consumers or learners together. We are encouraging experts to share their knowledge or experience through their articles, white papers, even video podcasts, research paper on our portal, and we publish on their name. So they are also recognized for what they are publishing, which is not available as a
Even mentoring, I suppose, should be part of it?
Yes. Second part is, one is whatever you have, you are just converting and consolidating on our platform where large set of people can consume that knowledge. Second part is the expert also need to mentor certain learners or the student in the industry. That's how the young masses will get encouraged and motivated to get into this industry. And that's how this industry skill gap can be plugged. So this is what the DC Guru talk is all about.
So what I understand, probably this could be the one of its kind of platform in data center industry, because I have not seen anything such in India or anywhere in the worldwide, especially in this domain.
Yes. So my ambition is to build DC Guru Talk a kind of a global data center platform, which can provide you knowledge about A to Z on nuts and bolts level. So
Wow.
whatever you want to know, you go to the website, you find anything, you will get it.
So it's also interesting to know, because data centers as a learning, as a concept or this thing, not readily available on the internet or in the books, because it's a accumulation of multiple technologies converging together, and thus comes a peer experience, or sheer experience, and a lot of peer learning, which happens in the same, industry. And that's the reason it comes to a very close group of kind of knowledge base, which you want to expand to the people who want to, youngsters who want to enter into this particular industry. They can gain and know more about it, right? That's exciting. So in this changing technological world of data centers, where everybody's at play, all the big companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and there's so many companies, everybody coming with a lot of new technologies, and data centers are stressed to devise those, and to match up with the requirements of the end customers. And so how do you keep yourself abreast with the new technology which is coming in the market? That's very interesting to know.
Yeah, it is very interesting, and this I only get by, so people has to have interest and passion. As I talk, I'm very passionate about data center. Even if I have worked with multiple domain areas from starting, I worked in data center design, build, operate. I worked in IT. I worked in networking. I worked in ICT consulting. I worked in security consulting. There have been multiple domains which we worked in, but somewhere in my heart, data center has always been my loved one.
Yeah.
So that actually gives energy. So that is one part which gives me interest to learn more and more about it, whatever is happening in the industry. Second aspect is this data center industry is a very closed loop circle. It is not kind of, we have got thousands of companies running the data center. We have got around 20-30 companies who are running the data center. And fortunately, we have got a very good connect with all the data center operators. And they are the people who are really experiencing their life, what their customer wants, what the technology they want, what they are delivering, what they are challenging. So these are the things which is giving me all those inputs, and those inputs are actually making me analyze and coming out with some kind of a solution to address those stuff.
Yeah, so by sheer talking to you, sorry, I can feel the energy, and the way you're talking about data centers, and no matter who's ever come in interaction with you or come under data center group umbrella, they're going to learn and get passionate about it. Now, the other last question probably I have with you is that what has been your achievement of your company, and what has your been goal and vision of your company, which you see it henceforth over the horizon?
So my journey so far for last 4 years has been satisfying. There had been certain challenges, but this is part of the entire startup ecosystem when you get into it. But also, I also get a lot of support from the industry. As I said, we are well with the data center operators and the entire ecosystem. My vision has been very well defined. I have got a clear-cut roadmap what I am going to do for the industry. So broadly, I have got 3 broader steps or stages what I am trying to run. So first stage was a data center guru, which is absolutely a consulting and services advisory organization which help customers across data center lifecycle through our services. Second thing what I was talking about is Guru Talk, DC Guru Talk, which is more about providing a knowledge sharing and collaborative platform to data center industry, where the experts can leverage their knowledge and experience to larger masses, where they can get benefited of. Third stage is about creating a skill development platform. So what currently available across the globe is just a training program where you have classroom trainings or online trainings. But when I did a study and studied the entire skill development life cycle, I found training or education only has a 10% contribution to skill development. So 90% comes from exposure and experience. So unless and until you apply your knowledge to the right environment for which you got the knowledge, you can't get the skill developed. And there is nothing such platform which is available across the globe. And my objective was, if I have to produce another 100,000 people for data center industry in India to support this demand, then I need to produce industry ready resources which can directly be consumed by the industry. So I have to run through these three stages of skill of learning, so that the candidate which comes from this skill development program, he doesn't need any orientation, any further training. You could directly put them on the job and they do it. So that's what the next initiative we talk about, Data Center Ashram, which we'll be launching next year. And the last one is, we are talking about a lot on the automation. We are talking about a lot on artificial intelligence. But when you look at data center building layer, we are still in the stone age.
Really?
We still manage our projects through MS Project,
True.
where we enter our end date, out date, and update the project plan on day-to-day basis.
So, means it's quite a promising industry where we are actually using a lot of technology, but yet lot more innovation yet to come in data centers.
So next step, on the last step, what I will not say last, but the next fourth stage, what I look at is bringing the automation in the build cycle, where you can get a real time progress on your projects. What is happening in your project? You don't have to enter your data in your MS project. You directly get it through your integrated system. Similarly, when you talk about data center facility management, there is no automation tool which integrates the entire things together.
Sure.
So that's the next step which we would like to develop and bring for the industry.
I think that
will make the entire data center industry or the platform AI ready.
Wow.
As of now, we are far from AI ready.
That's interesting. And probably to our viewers, all who are listening to the podcast, this is just the beginning of the initiatives and the series of podcasts which Data Center Guru is going to bring in the market for their learning, not for the youngsters, for the SMEs, for the industry experts, and for the whole lot of people who are associated with data center industry. There's a long way to go, and Data Center Guru is going to contribute and be part of that journey all along.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. And whatever vision or goal which I have developed, we are already working on, and we are on track. I'm very confident we would be able to deliver. And I'm also very confident and of getting the support from the industry, which I have already been getting for different initiatives. So great to go. Only thing I need support from data center industry, which I would like to request to the industry, that please leverage your knowledge and experience through this portal, so that people can learn from you, can increase their knowledge or enhance their knowledge and skill, and be beneficial for the industry.
Thanks, Mr. NK, for your time, and it has been really nice interacting with you on this podcast, and we look forward to many more such enriching podcasts in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, viewers, for watching this channel of DC Guru Talk, or podcast of DC Guru Talk. It's a journey which we have just started with, and many more such interesting knowledge-based sharing will start happening from DC Guru Talk. And you can always subscribe to it, like it, and keep viewing this channel the way you like it. Thank you.